Welcome everyone to my podcast. We don't have a name officially yet, but when we do, we'll let you all know. But today I'm going to be interviewing my boyfriend, Justin, over here on Marvel movies. So this episode is going to be called Assembling the Marvel Universe, One Man's Journey Through 35 Films. Justin, welcome. Introduce yourself to the podcast. Where are you from and everything like that?
I'm Justin. I'm from Florida.
Tell us something about yourself. What made you get into these Marvel films?
Like superheroes and always wanted to have powers. The youthfulness it brings when you watch a movie like that, the nostalgia.
Did you have any expectations going into watching all 35 of these films?
Again, just having that nostalgic feeling like I'm watching something that I used to watch as a kid, but now from animation to live action. Just hoping to have that feeling back, and darn tootin' did it give me that feeling.
Which film surprised you the most and why?
Honestly, I'd probably say Captain America. I surprisingly like the Captain America kind of saga the most.
The first Avenger one?
As a whole.
Oh, the entire collection, like the series of it. Okay. What was it like watching all of them in like such a short period of time? Like, would you say it felt like you were binge watching or you were watching like a cinematic marathon?
I'd probably say something in between, where I was looking forward to watching it. Certain movies felt like I was just kind of watching it just to watch it.
Yeah.
Just so I can mark it off as watched. I feel like with a lot of collections, series, not necessarily just Marvel, but just in a lot of movies can be overdone, and it can kind of be a drag. For me, that was the majority of Thor.
Were you ever lost when trying to keep up with all the different story arcs?
No. I mean, when you really boil it down, you just kind of realize all superhero movies kind of run on the same story arc. Obviously the details are a little bit different. But no, I wouldn't say I was lost. I would say when comparing the movies to the comics, they were a bit different, but or like the shows that you watch as a kid. But I would say different in a good way, but there's still that part of you that wishes that they kept true to what was actually done originally.
Who became your favorite Marvel character and why? And what made them stand out to you?
So I like Bucky. I like the Winter Soldier. I do like the Black Panther movies a lot. The cinematography with that one. Shout out Ryan Coogler. I mean, I think it's the only Marvel movie nominated for an Oscar. Or that was
Best Picture, yes.
Or yeah, Best Picture.
That is correct.
I know that one was the first one at that time to have been nominated. I would say probably my favorite movie out of the MCU would probably be the first Wakanda Black Panther movie.
Just Black Panther, yeah.
Yeah. I do like Doctor Strange a lot.
Which villain was the most compelling?
I don't think they did enough with Killmonger.
Yeah.
They didn't do enough with him.
I think a lot of people say that as well.
Ultron was kind of done a bit dirty. Because he's supposed to be like super incredibly strong. Like, and they just and again, it's a movie, so you're limited to the time restrictions and other outside things, whatever. Capturing the attentions of your audience, you can't have the same villain over and over again.
Yeah.
The best villain?
Do you have a villain in mind that was either right in what they were doing or that you were like, oh, he got looked at in a bad light for no reason?
See, if we're just going off MCU, I don't think there is a villain
that was
that I could be like, you know what, I can kind of get behind.
For
that.
me,
oh, actually,
I'm kind of Killmonger.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was like, Killmonger.
He just wanted to be part of his family. He was mad that they killed his dad and they didn't accept him into his family.
Well,
messed up.
I will say he didn't really give them, but I mean, I don't know. It's a little tricky because he never tried to be accepted.
Yeah.
You know, it was just kind of his dad kind of put it in his mind that he was never going to be accepted, so he never tried.
But if they had known, they would have let him.
Maybe. I mean, we won't know.
Some people joke around that Thanos is one of them.
You know,
sometimes we don't need half.
You know,
here.
I think Thanos had the right idea, wrong execution. But if you think about it, how else are you supposed to execute something like that? But I think it would have been more fair if he was also thrown into the equation of who gets to be blipped.
Yeah. Like if he would have to run the risk of he also would
exactly.
get
blipped. Yeah. I think you know, if we saw in the movies that he also got blipped, then you know, I'd be like, you know what? It's messed up, but at least because he was like
consequences.
Because he was always like, it's all fair. Everybody, rich and poor alike. Like at random, they will just get erased from the earth.
Yeah, a balance.
Yeah, and I was like, you know, if he had snapped and then he had turned into dust, I would have been like, you know what? At least he also ran that risk.
Yeah. Which movie or storyline didn't work for you?
Thor.
Yeah.
I just thought it was kind of lame.
Now, a lot of people compare, like, they don't like Thor, and then they also don't like The Incredible Hulk with, what was his name, Norton?
Yeah.
So, which one is, like, I don't want to say worse. Which one didn't work for you more?
Thor.
Okay, that's fair. What about it?
I don't know. I just didn't find the story interesting.
Yeah.
I think story-wise, it's a cool concept, but the way it was executed for me, I didn't really like it.
In your opinion, what do you think makes Marvel movies so successful with audiences?
I think it's the fan base.
Yeah.
And I also think it's just the characters they pick. Even though I feel like a lot recently people have been kind of not liking the Marvel movies that have come out, regardless, watch the movie because you just gotta know.
Yeah.
Right? If it's gonna be bad or good, you gotta watch it. And at the end of the day, you still spent the money to watch the movie. Like, for example, I wasn't a big fan of Brave New World. But I'm not upset at the fact that I went to go watch it in the theaters. But I think what makes it successful is that Marvel is already a successful IP without the movies. And the movies just amplified it tenfold. Everyone grew up on a superhero, whether it be Marvel, DC, or Image Comics. Like, you grow up on something.
Yeah.
And seeing it be brought to life, regardless of your age, is something that people want to see and are curious about.
I wanted to read you this quote here. So, Bob Iger, CEO of the Walt Disney Company, he has this biography that came out. And he mentions in there that when he acquired the Marvel Studios company, he made sure that the next film to be made was one where it was a female lead and another one where it was a person of color. Iger even quotes saying that when he called the Marvel Entertainment office in New York, because at the time it was just one full company, they said, female superheroes never drive big box office. And then they also mentioned international audiences wouldn't want to watch black superheroes. This then drove Iger and Kevin Feige, the now CEO of Marvel Studios, to split the company. So that's why if you ever notice that it says Marvel Studios and then Marvel Entertainment is the New York office and stuff like that. Marvel Studios is going to be those movie base and what's connected to Disney. Which are owned by Disney. So they make the films Black Panther and Captain America. Black Panther, like we had mentioned earlier, ended up becoming the 4th highest grossing superhero film. To this day. Still holds that spot. So in your opinion, what impact do you think this has had on the world and the MCU?
Like having a person of color.
Just changing it, because he had even mentioned in the book too that him and Feige were tired of it being a white man being the lead of all the films.
Yeah, a positive for the community. You know, because I feel like superheroes, everyone sees a little bit of themselves in a superhero. Like, you know, they want to be that, or they feel like they embody that. But it's kind of hard too when you have, like, you know, if you have like a little kid who's like, you know, I mean, now it's different, but back in the day, like a kid of color who is reading these comics, seeing the animated shows before the movies, right? They're like, oh, I want to be like Captain America.
Yeah.
Right? And he sees Steve Rogers. But now he's like, oh, well, there's Black Panther, and I can be like him, stand up for my family, my country, stuff like that. And then, you know, girls also being like, oh, Captain Marvel, having multiple main characters of different backgrounds, different images and builds and personalities, just helps a wide range of people relate to that character a bit more.
Yeah. Because
if they look like them, then they feel like them.
Yeah.
You know?
He mentions in his book too how people like Spike Lee, Oprah Winfrey all reached out to him and was like, this is an incredible film. Like, finally, like, people like me and like little boys and girls can see themselves in these movies and stuff like that. I think it also helps that like they had such a great director like and writer like Ryan Coogler.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if it would have been the same if it was anybody else. Before we let you go, we've got a little game to play here. Okay. Real simple, nothing too easy, but I've got a bracket here, and you're gonna decide best favorite movie, whatever it may be. Okay. With all 35 films.
Okay.
So, first, so you know, since Endgame, we looked it up, it's #1 movie for Marvel. You get to bye week. You get to just skip a couple.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
So your first matchup is going to be Infinity War or Ant-Man.
Infinity War.
Far From Home or Civil War.
Far From Home is the Mysterio one.
Yeah.
Right? And then Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Captain America versus
Iron Man.
Yeah.
Oh, Civil War.
Okay. No Way Home or The Marvels.
No Way Home is the 3 Spider-Men.
Mm-hmm.
And then what was the other one?
The Marvels.
Yeah, I gotta go with Spider-Man.
Yeah. Thor: The Dark World or The Avengers.
Avengers.
Winter Soldier or Ragnarok.
Winter Soldier.
Love and Thunder or The Eternals.
Eternals. Eternals low-key slept on.
There's Black Panther versus Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, Black Panther.
Okay.
Guardians of the Galaxy was pretty good too.
Quantumania or Brave New World.
Ooh, that's a tough one. Ooh, I don't know. I'm gonna have to go. Oh, Quantumania, because I really liked Kang.
Deadpool, Wolverine, or Captain Marvel.
Deadpool, Wolverine.
Iron Man 2 or Homecoming.
I gotta say Homecoming.
That's a good answer. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 or The Incredible Hulk.
The OG Incredible Hulk?
Mm-hmm.
You gotta go OG. I really like that one.
Alright. Black Widow or Wakanda Forever.
Oh, Wakanda Forever.
Yeah. Multiverse of Madness or Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
3.
Ant-Man and the Wasp or Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange.
Age of Ultron or Thor.
Age of Ultron.
Iron Man 3 or Captain America: The First Avenger.
Captain America.
Shang-Chi or Iron Man?
Iron Man.
Infinity War or Civil War?
Right, we have to go Infinity War.
No Way Home or The Avengers?
No Way Home.
The Winter Soldier or Eternals?
Winter Soldier.
Black Panther or Quantumania?
Black Panther.
Deadpool and Wolverine or Endgame?
Endgame.
Homecoming or The Hulk?
Homecoming.
Wakanda Forever or Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3?
I really like Namor. I gotta go Wakanda Forever.
Doctor Strange or Age of Ultron?
Doctor Strange.
Captain America the First Avenger or Iron Man?
Captain America.
Infinity War or No Way Home?
It's Toby, bro. It's Toby.
I know.
You gotta go No Way Home.
Winter Soldier or Black Panther?
Black Panther.
Homecoming or Wakanda Forever?
Wakanda Forever.
Doctor Strange or Captain America?
Doctor Strange.
No Way Home or Endgame?
Endgame's too good.
Endgame or Black Panther?
I'm only giving it to this movie because of the Kendrick Lamar soundtrack. Give me Black Panther.
Wakanda Forever or Doctor Strange?
I gotta go Doctor Strange. I could have told you it would have been Doctor Strange and Black Panther in the end.
All right.
But I'm gonna have to go Black Panther.
Black Panther.
Go Black Panther.
You heard it here, folks.
Shout out Ryan Coogler.
Shout out Ryan Coogler. That's going to be the end of our podcast. But before we go, what are you looking forward to Thunderbolts next week?
I am looking forward to Thunderbolts. I do wish that they had Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross in it. Because that's the whole reason why they're called the Thunderbolt.
Are you looking forward to Fantastic Four?
I am looking forward to Fantastic Four. Shout out Cousin.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Justin, for being here.
Of course.
Thank you for answering all my questions.
What I'm here for.
Yeah. Tune in next time. Maybe he'll interview me about Disney questions, or I'll interview him.
Maybe.
Maybe I'll have you watch all 100 films, 100 plus films.
Oh,
Is it?
it's a big maybe.
All right. Thanks for watching, guys.